Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about falsy values in JavaScript. We're going to make sure you understand the concept, you're able to answer it accurately, and that you can make sure you kill those technical interviews. We're going to show off some examples. And if you like this video, it's part of my 100 front-end interview questions challenge, which goes over 100 plus questions, including interview tips and tricks at the end after the 100 technical questions to make sure that you can interview very well and pass those technical screens. You can get it for $9.99 in the description below, or use coupon code CODINGGOD. So falsy values. Falsy values are one of those things that are very unique to JavaScript, and one of the items that really finds that you ask as a developer that when you're interviewing to find out what do these people actually know, and do they actually know JavaScript? And it's not a very complex idea, it's not a very complex topic, but it is a JavaScript topic that people are going to ask you again and again because they want to find out if you're a JavaScript dev. So what are falsy values? Falsy values are so you might even hear as falsy and truthy values. So truthy values are pretty much everything else. And so let's focus on falsy values. Falsy values are obviously the Boolean false, but there's also undefined, null. These are falsy values, meaning that if they were in a if statement or a logical operation, they would evaluate to false. Now there's also the empty string, meaning that you have no characters in there or spaces. Now if you'd had one space, it would be a truthy value. There's also the zero number. So the zero number is a falsy value, and this can become very useful in your logic if you, and maybe let's say you're using Angular and you have an ng if statement or any part of your controller or anywhere where your script is, and you can just let it be if it has some items, when I check the length, do something. If it doesn't, meaning it's equal to 0, then it's going to evaluate to false because that is a falsy value. All right, so in JavaScript we have this concept of falsy values. What that basically means is that some values, when you evaluate them as booleans, will return false for their logical operator. This is something unique to JavaScript. Now, let's give an example. And really, there's truthy values also, but everything else is truthy, and there's 6 values that are falsy. So we don't really need to cover truthy values. As long as you understand the core concept, you'll see, all you have to really understand is what to watch out for. So let's take example 1 here, and we're going to set all the falsy values. So you have undefined, you have null, you also have not a number, you have a 0, like the number 0, you have a empty string, and then you of course have false. These are all the falsy values. And so if we were to take like the Boolean operator here and we were to pass each one of these in, you'll see that we're going to get a false value for each one of them. This is a simple way, and you could do it like this, or you could just do a double bang. So bang bang, and then find out. This is sort of the shorthand way of doing it. I personally, my personal preference is to use the Boolean constructor there. The reason for it is I think it's a little bit more readable, but for the sake of this, we can, just because I don't feel like typing it out too much while I'm doing this in a professional application, I would encourage you to, but again, that's just a preference. Okay, so you can see here that when we are converting these values all to booleans, they're all going to return false. And just so you can see an example here, we of course could do any other value. So example 7, we'll go ahead and set to the number 1. And so if we were to console.log example 7 and then double bang it, bang bang, we get true. The point is that there are 6 falsy values in JavaScript. These are the 6, and just to be aware of that when you're using Boolean operators. And so like A perfect example is if you're expecting a value to be 0 and that's a truthy that needs to be a truthy value, you need to write your code in such a way that's there. Or an empty string is an acceptable answer in an if block, you need to be aware of that. Otherwise, it's going to evaluate to false and you're going to have some issues. So this is why you need to sort of be aware of falsy values and know what they are, because it's a common interview question in JavaScript. Hey guys, don't forget to hit that notification bell or smash that like button while you're at it. And if you're interested, I just released my latest course, the 100 Front-End Technical Question Challenge, which is there to help you pass those front-end technical interviews. There's over 100 questions. You can get it for just $9.99. The link is in the description below, or use coupon code CodingGod.